Okay, good morning students. This is Radhakrishna Bhapadesi. Today the session number is 17. So we are discussing about a hydroelectric power plant in unit 3. So in the last class we are discussing about what is meant by hydroelectric power plant, how we are generating the electricity from the hydropower, and what about the site selection process and all. In project class we are discussing about the introduction part, essential elements of a hydroelectric power plant, advantages and disadvantages. So these are the contents of today's class: introduction, essential elements of hydroelectric power plant, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so now I would like to start with the introduction. So how the hydroelectric power plant is utilizing and how the electrical energy is produced. So the hydropower plant, the water is utilized to move the turbine, and which is turned in run the electric generators. Okay, so the turbine, the water is run the turbine, and the turbine runs the generator. So the potential energy of the water is converted into the kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy is converted into the mechanical energy by using of a turbine. And this kinetic energy gets converted into electrical energy with help of a turbine and the generator combination. So the first hydroelectric power plant is proposed by a H.F. Rogers. So he is invented the hydroelectric power plant. Who is that? H.F. Rogers is invented the hydroelectric power plants. Okay. And next thing is, so when the hydroelectric power plantation is started in India. The first power plant started in India in Mysore in the year of 1902 with a capacity of 4.5 megawatts. Okay, so the first power plant started at Mysore in the year of 1902, and that is named as Sivaramudram. Okay, and second hydropower plant was started with some high capacity when compared to the first one. The first capacity is the 4.5 megawatts only. But the second power plant is started in the state of Maharashtra in the year of 1914, and it is named as the Kohupolo. Okay, and having the capacity is 50 megawatts. So this is a higher capacity when compared to the first one. The first one is started in the year of 1902 in Mysore with a capacity of 4.5 megawatts, and the second hydroelectric power plant is started in the year of 1912 at Maharashtra with a capacity of 50 megawatts. So what about the power generation capacity up until up to independence? So up to Independence Day, so we have a capacity of 500 megawatts. So that means from the 1902, that is continuously increasing the power plant installations, and the total power generated at the time of independence around 500 megawatts of power is generated. Okay, and what are the essential components of a hydroelectric power plant? So the essential elements of hydroelectric power plants are mainly 8. So what are the 8? So first one is the catchment area, and next one is the reservoir, next one is the dam, and the combination of turbine and generator. So next, draft tubes, penstock, spillway, surge tank. So these are the essential elements, and these two elements are known as the protective elements. And these are the primary elements. So the first 6 are the primary elements. Okay, and the last 2 are the protective elements. So it protects the power generation plant. So that's why it's known as the protective elements and the primary elements. So first, what is meant by a catchment area? So area, so here behind the reservoir or behind the dam, we have a large space for flow the air, for flow the water in a unique direction. So that area is known as the catchment area. So here, see this, the whole area behind the dam training to the flow of water through the canal process, okay, across which the dam has been built suitable place called as the catchment area. So in this catchment area means, for example, see here, so this is the dam part, So this is the dam area, and behind this we have one path to flow the water or streaming the water in a particular way. So that location is known as the catchment area. Okay, and next element is the reservoir and dam. So generally we have a small doubt about it. So what is meant by reservoir and what is meant by dam? So generally we are listening these two words in a very familiar way, but we need to differentiate in these terms first. So what is meant by reservoir and what is meant by a dam? Okay, so simple, reservoir is a place where we need to store the water. So that place is known as a reservoir, and dam means it's a one type of construction, maybe by using of a concrete or earthquake, by using of earth. So we are restricted the flow of water. So that construction is known as the dam part. And below the part, so where the water is stored at a particular location, so that location is known as the reservoir. Maybe reservoirs or lakes, or lake also known as the reservoir, because in lake also we are storing the water. Is it okay? So that is the main differentiation. So do you remember the two things? The differentiation between the reservoir and dam. So see here. So the first one is the reservoir. A reservoir is employed to store the water. Why we need to store the water? For the future utilization and continuous power generation purpose. So which is further utilized to generate the power by running the hydroelectric turbines. Okay. So the main thing is storage of water is known as the place of a storage of water is known as the reservoir. Okay. So see here in this diagram you can clearly separate these two. So this is the dam part. So it's a concrete construction. Okay. So this concrete construction is known as the dam. After the dam, so the water is collected at a certain position, and here we can store the water. So that point is known as the reservoir. The empty employed to store the water position is known as the reservoir, and the dam means a dam is a barrier which confines or raises water for storage or diversion to create a hydro head. Okay, so this is the main definitions of a reservoir and the dam. I think it's clear. Reservoir and dam. And the next concept is power generation or prime movers. So in a hydroelectric power plant, we are using mainly two prime movers. Okay, one is the turbine and second one is the generator. So what is the concept of a turbine? So the turbine is a device which converts the kinetic energy into the mechanical energy. So turbine is a very light fan, like a structure having many number of blades. So it has n number of blades. Okay, so it has a n number of blades. So see in this, so this is the turbine and this is the generator here. So see here, n number of blades are arranged here. In this diagram we can clearly see the blades are there. So why the blades are required? So the blades are used to strike the water with a high kinetic energy, and it rotates, it increases the area. So it has an ability to rotate on its axis when water is passes through it. Okay, so that is the concept of a turbine. And what is meant by generator? So generator also a device which generates the electrical energy from the mechanical energy. And here we are placing a magnet here. So it creates a magnetic field, and from that magnetic field we are rotating the mechanical energy here. So due to the magnet having some force on that rotation, and it creates the electromotive force EMF. So see here, generator is a device which, when there is a rotation of a coil in between the strong magnetic field, then it produces an alternating current. So this is the concept of a generator. So the generator is a common for all the power generation technique. Maybe if you consider a turbine and generator are common for all the power generation techniques. For the steam turbine power plants, diesel power plant we are using turbine only generator, and next one is the gas turbine power plant. Here also we are using the generator, and next one is the hydroelectric power plant. So here we are using the turbine and the generator concepts. Okay, so these are the power generating units in the hydroelectric power plants. And draft tube. So it's a very common name. It's a very common name in a hydroelectric power stations. So what is the use of a draft tube? So the draft tubes are generally arranged for maintaining a same flow throughout the panel. Okay, so that's why we are using the draft tube. So generally a draft tube is an empty structure made with a beneath of the turbine. It serves to following two main purposes. Okay, what are the two purposes we are using the draft tube? So the draft tube allows the turbine to sit above the tail water without loss of a head. Okay, so it maintains a constant head. There is no fluctuations of head. So due to this, we will get a constant flow of a electrical power generation. Okay, and next is it regains by diffuser action the major portion of the kinetic energy diverted into the form of runner. Okay, so here see the draft tube here in this diagram. So already do you know that the entire hydroelectric power plant base. So here we are taking the water here. So this is the dam construction, and here this is the intake, and this pipe is known as the penstock. So the penstock is a power line, pipeline in between the dam and the turbine point. So here the penstock is connecting these two lines, and the water is flowing, and here the turbine is rotates, and here it maintains a constant head. So it's above the tile race. Okay, so tile race means so where the water is collected after the power generating point. So this is the tile race. So before the tile race, you can arrange the draft tube for maintaining a constant flow of a runner. Okay, so running of a small equivalent amount of water. So what is the use of it? It increases the output power and it increases the efficiency of hydroelectric power plant. So that's why we are using the draft tube concept. So it has a majorly two advantages. One is the increase of your output power, and it increases the efficiency of your plant also. Okay, so this is about a draft tube concept and penstock. So we don't assume that the turbine is placed behind the or next to the dam only. We are placing the turbine somewhere. We are passing the water somewhere on some of the distances. So see here, see the penstock pipelines. So it's too far away from the dam point maybe. Okay, so because we are following the water and it gives more kinetic energy, we are increasing the velocity itself. So penstock is the connecting pipe between the dam and the turbine house. It helps to increase the kinetic energy. That is the main motto of a penstock. Increase the kinetic energy. So when we are increasing the kinetic energy, so Ke equal to half mv square. So here the velocity is a play key role. So we are increasing the distance, automatically it have a more velocity. Okay, and the penstock is made up of a very strong material which can sustain a high pressure of water also. So see these lines, it's a very high strong material we are using for the penstock. Generally we are seeing for a penstock with a concrete material or iron materials we are using for the penstock purpose. So these are the primary elements. Okay, up to now we are discussing about the primary element. Next, safety elements we are now we would like to go for the safety element. One is the spillway and okay, so this is the spillway here. Spillways is kind of a canal provided beside the dam. So beside the dam we are providing some canals. What the reason behind the providing a canal for that? Because the dam is constructed for a up to some pressure only. If the pressure is increases, if the water content is increases, automatically the pressure acting on the dam is increases. Okay, so when the pressure is increases, automatically it causes to the damage of a dam. So that's why we need to reduce the damage of a dam. We are using the spillways. So it's a side way to the dam. It removes the water. So the water is removed means automatically the probability chances of a pressure increases is reduces. Okay, spillways is used to arrange the excess accumulation of water on the dam, because excess accumulation of water may be damage the dam structure. That is the reason. So see here. So this is the gates here. These are the gates, and this is the separate way. So this is the water flow. If you see the water here, water is moving in a separate path. So this is the one canal path. So this process is known as the spillway and process. And the next thing is the surge tank. So this is also a safety measurement only for a hydroelectric power plant. How it helps? So when there is a sudden close or decrease in pressure due to the control valve, then there is a backflow of water. So when the pressure is changes, always energy is moving from high pressure level to the low pressure level. If the bottom point of a penstock it contains a low pressure, no problem, always the high pressure to the low pressure water is flowing back. Okay, flowing in the direction of a turbine. In case the pressure is reduced or reduced at a top position and higher at a lower position, what happens? That entire water is suddenly sent back to the dam side. So it causes to the collapse of a entire system. So at that time we can utilize a concept of a surge tank. So here, see here. So this is the penstock point. When the water is back side, so at that time we can store the water by using of a surge tank concept. Surge tank concept. So where we are fixing the surge tank? So the surge tank is fixed in between the dam point and the turbine point. Okay, penstock. So this is the penstock. So above the penstock we can arrange a storage of a water tank. So it's not only using for the reverse of a water, it uses for maintaining a constant flow rate also. So see here, this effect is known as the water hammering effect, and avoid this tank to attach to the penstock which stores the water in it. This tank is called as the surge tank. Okay, so that is the main purpose here. So we need to store the water for a back pressure. When it is showing the back pressure, it causes to the burst of a penstock. Okay, so when it is taking a backflow, so that causes to a burst of a penstock and all. So that's why we are using the surge tank concept. So these are the 8 essential elements of a hydroelectric power plant. Is it clear? And the next content is what are the advantages of a hydroelectric power plant. So see here. Sorry. In the next one is working of a hydroelectric power plant. How the hydroelectric power plant is working? In the initial state, the water is water of the river in the catchment area. So we can store the water in the catchment area. We can flow the water from the catchment area to the dam. From the catchment area, the water is flows to the dam. So catchment area means it's a driving to the flow of a stream of water. Okay, from the catchment area that water is flowed through the dam. At the dam, the water gets accumulated. So we are store the water at a dam by using of a dam construction. And thus the potential energy of the water. So here we are constructing here one dam. So here the water is stored here. So for example here the water is stored. Okay, so stored means it is having some height also. So that's why here we have a potential energy. So that potential energy, when the water is taken below side by using of a penstock, so automatically it have a kinetic converts to the potential energy to the kinetic energy. Okay. When the gates of the dam are open, then the water is moves through high kinetic energy into the penstock. Okay. Through the penstock, the water is moving. What happened at that point? Through the penstock, water goes to the turbine house. So somewhere we have a turbine house. So in this turbine house, that high kinetic energy of a water is flows through the turbine and it generates a mechanical energy and that is connected to a generator. Since the penstock makes a water flow from the high altitude to the low altitude, thus the kinetic energy of the water is again raised. So we can increase the kinetic energy continuously and we are generating the high kinetic energy point. Okay. And next thing is, what are the advantages of a hydroelectric power plant? So hydroelectric power plant, the main thing is we don't utilize any fuel here. It's free from the, no fuel means it doesn't have any emissions also. It's an eco-friendly system. Okay, that's the first thing. And less supervising staff is required. So there is no requirement of a fuel handling or the coal handling system like a steam power plant. So that's the reason the number of people required for the monitoring is very less when compared to the steam power plant. In the steam power plant we require a lot of amount of people because of we need to first coal handling process, fuel handling process and ash handling process, water levels. We need to see all the things. But here the maintenance also very less and operation charges are very low. If you are, and other than that, all the power plants require the maintenance cost and the operating fuel cost. Okay, but here very less. And running cost of the plant is low because there is no fuel concept. That's why the running cost is always low for a hydroelectric power plant. The plant efficiency does not changes with age. Okay, because some amount of power plants, if you consider the power plants, maybe if you more years, it takes some wear and tear parts and it reduces the efficiency based on the combustion decreases. But in this point of view, there is no question of a efficiency decreasing with age most of the cases. Only we need to monitor the turbines. If the turbine is perfectly working and if the generator is perfectly working, there is no question of a efficiency decreases. And it takes a few minutes to run and synchronize the plant. So we don't require any heat generation process. After that, heat absorption process by water and it needs to convert it to a steam. But in this process, there is no question of any delay process. Directly if you flow the water on a turbine, automatically the turbine gives you mechanical energy. So that's why it takes a few minutes to run and synchronize the plant. So there is no question of a fuel, that's why no fuel transportation is required. No ash or flue gases problem and does not pollute the atmosphere. So already we discussed that hydroelectric power plant is an eco-friendly system. So that's the reason we need to choose the hydroelectric power from the several years, from the ancient times. Okay. And these plants are used for the flood control and irrigation purpose also. So the hydroelectric power plants are not only using for the power generation process, so it is also useful for control the floods. Okay, so it is protecting the some areas over the flooding time, and also the stored water we can utilize for your agricultural purpose in a irrigation way. So that is also one advantage by using of a construction of a hydroelectric power plant. And the last thing is long life in comparison with any other power plant. Maybe thermal power plant or nuclear power plant, it has some lifetime, maybe 30 years or 40 years. But the hydroelectric power plant have a lifelong, life is a very high when compared to the other power stations. So these are the better advantages when compared to the other power plants. At the same time, the hydroelectric power plant have some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of a hydroelectric power plant? So the hydroelectric power plant have also some disadvantages. The first disadvantage is the initial cost of the plant is very high, because we need to start one hydroelectric power plant means we need to vacate a large area of people or villages, because the entire catchment area is filled up with the water. So maybe that causes to the human problems. So that's why we are need to vacate all the people for a flooding times. So that's the reason totally we need to vacate it and we need to construct it. Okay, and the total process is very costly when compared to the other systems. and takes long time for a construction of the dam also. So because if you consider any dam, so that is a continuous flowing river or lake or something, so that means we need to divert that water. It takes some time, and we need to remove the people from relocate the people from one position to the another position at nearer to the who are living nearer to the dam positions. We need to relocate it. It is also some difficulty, so that's why the construction also takes some time. And generally such plants are located in hilly areas far away from load center, because always where we look about a hydroelectric power plant, always it's a far away from the load centers, or people where they are having, that is a very far away, because it is protective from the floody areas. Okay, so that's the reason here where the power is generated in a hydroelectric power stations, that power we need to supply from one power generating point to the load center. It takes very more losses, because the transmission is very high. The transmission losses are very high in case of a hydroelectric power plant. So that is the one disadvantage of a hydroelectric power plant. Okay, so these are the some disadvantages of a hydroelectric power plant. Okay, and now I would like to summarize the today's class. So in a today's class we are discussing about mainly 4 contents. One, what are the 4 contents in a today's class? So in a today's class we are mainly focusing on, so what is the introduction part or history of a hydroelectric power plant. So the history starts when the hydroelectric power plants are invented by, first thing, the hydroelectric power plant is invented by H.R. Rogers, and next the first power plant in India is started in the year of 1902, where the first power plant is started. So the first power plant is started in state of Karnataka in Mysore. Okay, what the capacity of a power plant? So the capacity of a power plant is 4.5 megawatts. And the second power plant is established in the year of 1914 with a capacity of 50 megawatts in the state of Maharashtra. So in the state of Maharashtra, the second power plant is started. Up to 1947, if you see that, if we generated 500 megawatts of power in India. Okay, so this is a brief history of a hydroelectric power plant. So how the hydroelectric power is generated? So the hydroelectric power is generated by using the energy of a water flow rate. So the water energy is using to the generation of a hydroelectric power. Okay, so the water energy we are using to generate the electrical power, and here we have some main essential components are there. So what are the essential components of a hydroelectric power plant? So the essential components of a hydroelectric power plants are components. First one is the catchment area. So what is meant by catchment area? So the catchment area means the whole area behind the dam. The whole area behind the dam is known as the catchment area. So here that water is streamlined to the flow to a dam position. So this is the catchment area. And next one is dam and reservoirs. So what is meant by dam? So dam is a concrete structure or earth structure which holds the water, which control the flow of a water. Okay. And next one is the reservoir. So the reservoir is a place which is using for the storage of a water. Storage of a water. Catchment area, dam, reservoir, and next one is the penstock. So the penstock is which is using for transferring the water, connecting the positions of dam and the turbine areas. So the connection between the dam and the turbine house or power house. Okay. So this is the pipe. So this is a very strong pipe because it need to accept the high pressure of a water also. So that's why we need to construct the penstocks. So penstock also very important. And next one is the draft tubes. So the draft tubes are generally using later the turbine point of view. It increases the efficiency of a power point. Okay, it increases the efficiency, and at the same time, for getting the safety purpose, we have a two systems are there, two elements are there. One is the spillways, and second one is the surge tank. Okay, so what is meant by a spillway? So spillway is providing a second canal, or besides the dam we can provide the canal, because in a dam we need to construct a particular pressure point of force. But if you remove the excess pressure on a dam, so we need to remove the water without opening the gates. So that's why we can do the side process beside the dam. We can give the side process for removing the water. So that ways are known as the spillways. Always the spillways are reducing the pressure force act on the dam. And the second thing is surge tank. So here the surge tank is connected between the dam and the turbine. Here the surge tank is always constructed by above the penstock point. So here we can store the water. Why we need to utilize this storage point? So whenever the pressure differences are happen, the water is taking the backflow system. So when the backflow is happen, so that water is causes to the damage. So that's why we need to store that water in a surge tank. So these are the concepts and main essential elements of a hydroelectric power plant. Okay. And here we would like to discuss about advantages and disadvantages also. So what are the advantages of a hydroelectric power plant and what are the disadvantages of a hydroelectric power plant? Advantages and disadvantages. So the first advantage of a power plant is there is no required of a fuel. No fuel is required here. No fuel transformations, no fuel transportation process, transportation zero, and less number of technical staff is required for monitoring, and it's a eco-friendly system because it doesn't produces any emissions. So that's why it's a eco-friendly system. Okay. At the same time, we have some disadvantages also. It occupies more space, and it takes more time for the construction point of view. It takes more time for construction. Okay, so these are the main disadvantages and advantages of a hydroelectric power plant. Okay. Okay, thank you.